Hello YouTube, this is William. Welcome to another Whittle Talk. Let's have a responsible conversation. Had a comment on my Facebook yesterday, and I've been thinking about this. Where was law enforcement when the Fort Lauderdale thing occurred at the airport? And I made a comment that law enforcement is not there to protect you, it's there to enforce laws, which is true. Law enforcement was never incorporated or designed or put in place for protection. To protect and serve is a good slogan, but it's just not realistic. There's no way that there's a police officer can protect you from every crime that is committed. It's not possible. So law enforcement is what the name implies. It's to enforce the laws. It's not there to prevent crime. Even the FBI is Federal Bureau of Investigation, which means there's a crime that's been committed before there's an investigation. So we have to take responsibility for our own protection, folks. That's what the Second Amendment was all about, or is all about. It is to protect us from our neighbors, from criminals. It's to protect us from a tyrannical government. It's not there to hunt. It has nothing to do with hunting. It's about self-protection and self-preservation. Our entire Constitution is about self-preservation. So we can't depend on law enforcement. So we have to take responsibility for ourselves, our families. We have to take care of our own self-protection. That's what I'm talking about as being responsible. You have to be responsible for your own well-being, your own protection, your own family. Another thing is, I think as a society, we're too prone to hand our responsibilities off to the next person. It's not my job. It's somebody else's job. We take our kids to school and we depend on the school to teach them. Again, we're relaying our responsibility off on someone else. We depend on the school districts to babysit our children while we're at work, because we're so wrapped up in material things that we have to work 60, 70 hours a week. We have no time for our families. I think that's a responsible thing, but is it? Is that responsible? Providing too much material things and not enough teaching and lessons and one-on-one conversations with our families? I wonder. We depend on the government and social programs to take care of our poor. Granted, it's taken out of our taxes, so we say in a roundabout way we take care of it. No, we don't. We hand that responsibility off. We're taking the easy way out. We depend on social programs to take care of our elderly, our grandparents, our parents. I always liked the show Waltons because they had their fighting. I mean, it's what a family's about. But they lived in the same house. They were born in that house. They grew up in that house. They married in that house. They had children in that house. They died in that house. That's what a family's about. We take care of each other, instead of handing that responsibility off to someone else, to a social program. I just think that we need to sit back and really take a good hard look at what's important. We need to start taking responsibility for our own selves, our own families, our own governments, our own local entities. We need to become involved. Be involved in your school district. What are they teaching your children? Is that something that you want your children to be taught? Do you even know what they're teaching? When you hand off your responsibility to someone else, that means that person can dictate to you terms. Small pieces of your freedom are given away every time you allow somebody to take responsibility for your lives. So that means if we allow the government to pay our grandparents to live, then they can dictate to our grandparents and parents how to live. Tell them what meals to eat. Tell them when they can go and when they can come. What type of doctor visits they can have. What medical care they can have. If we depend on the government for medical care, that means that they can tell us what kind of care we have to have. I'm not willing to give up all that. I think I've given up enough freedoms as it is. So I think it's time that we become more involved. Take responsibility for our own lives, our own families. Just my thoughts. So until the next one, you guys get in the backyard with a long steak. Take your family with you. Be part of your family. Don't worry too much about this material things. You don't need all this stuff. It's just there to keep you working, keep your face down and not see what's going on around you. Become more aware of what's happening. Slow down. Get in the backyard. Whittle on that steak. Talk to your families. Have a family dinners at night. Sit down with each other. Turn the cell phones off. Think about these things. So until the next one, you guys take care.